Hi everyone, I hope that you are having a great day. I am going to be doing some deep, intense work on myself. That's what my guidance is telling me that I need to do. And of course, you're welcome to join me or just do your own freestyle during this time. But I am going to invite you to make sure that you have water and that you get hydrated. So I'm going to take a few moments just to allow those of you who want to participate to get you some water and make sure you just drink some. Of course, have some for after we do the session. So I am hydrated, but I am going to take a few more sips, before we get started. But actually, before I start moisturizing myself, I am going to do some deep breathing, and I'm going to invite you to do that with me. And then I'm going to just talk a little bit about kind of the difference between when you're doing more deep tissue type of work or more deeper intensive work, and sometimes why your body is calling forth, for that. Now, some of you aren't going to be needing that, during this time, and so just work on yourself regularly. And if you followed, my videos and you've seen the demonstrations, then you know that you have to be present with your body to know how much pressure you need to put on. But if not, just, recall the demonstrations that I've done where I'm not working as intensely. And so, just follow the guidance. So let's take about 3 deep breaths, please. Okay. So as I mentioned, that sometimes the body may be calling for you to do a little bit more intense body work. And that's not abnormal. Every now and again we need to, have that take place anyway. But there are times where you need to reach deeper levels of healing or deeper levels of stimulation, because there could be things that are going to be coming up, whether weather's shifting and different things. You need to prepare your immune system, for what's to come. But also, just you never know if you have stress going on in the body that you're unaware of, and sometimes the deeper tissue work or the deeper intense work may be required. Also, when releasing toxins, because we do have toxins and things in the environment, and sometimes there needs to be just that deeper purge of that. But there are times where you're not really aware, because you could have some surface level symptoms or no symptoms at all, right? And so if that's occurring, you don't really know what's going on. So when you get the guidance to feel that you need to work on yourself deeper, then just know that it's for a reason, even if you don't understand. So I'm going to get a few sips of water. I got me another bottle because I've been drinking today. Okay, now I've got that ready in case I have to sip during. And of course I'll be drinking after. So before I start moisturizing, I'm just going to take a few moments, and I'm inviting you to take a few moments too. So let's just be present with our bodies. Even though I know that I'm going to be doing some intense work on myself, I still have to follow the guidance, because I don't yet know how I'm going to actually be working on myself. But if I'm doing some deep work, then I do know that there's going to be some deep massage that's taking place. And then, as I'm working on myself, maybe I won't be going so deep in certain areas, but I just feel that this is a time of intensity. So I do feel like I am going to work a little bit deeper, than norm. So let's just take a few more deep breaths. Let's take about 5 deep breaths, please. I'm going to take a few more. Okay. Well, actually, at this moment for me, I am feeling guided to actually start actually doing some thigh and calf massage. So I'm actually not going to moisturize myself as of yet so that my hands aren't, greasy as I'm working on myself up here, since I am going to be working through my clothing. So anytime you start just working, on yourself, it's good to just do some gentle rubbing, first. And it really is just warming the areas up that you're going to be working on. So I'm just doing, just some rubbing here. I'm not starting off too heavy with it because I'm just warming up. So just doing some light, because I'll allow myself to be guided on how I need to, go in and work, on myself. So do a little bit of kneading here just to get the blood going. Okay. So I'm going to do it over here as well. Okay. All right, so I'm going to stretch my leg out just a little, and what I'm going to start doing is right kind of in what would be the growing area, I'm going to do some squeezing here. So I am actually starting off going a little deep. And so if you are feeling guided to follow my demonstration, then still check in with your body to know, how you need to proceed. So I'm just doing some initial grabbing here for the moment. Just getting down into the muscles, just kind of opening them up. And some of you, if you're doing this, you may actually feel your muscles contracting a little bit, tightening up, but they will loosen up, as you continue to work in the areas. And some of you just may want to watch just the demonstration and then come back and work on yourself later. But again, as I mentioned too, some of you just take this time for yourself. You don't necessarily have to do what I'm doing, because your body could be calling on you for something else, during this time. Some of you actually might need to be more, gentler with yourself. And so what I will do for those who maybe aren't used to doing the DIY body work, on themselves, I will do a gentle demonstration. So even as you see me digging in. So kind of a milder way is just kind of just to, almost like you're pulling, but you're really not. It's really just kind of aerating the tissue, just moving the skin, kind of just pulling it back. And you can feel your muscle. Then you can just start rubbing. Some of you can just do, just some rubbing. You may want to do some kneading, but it doesn't have to be hard. Like for me, there's the call for intensity for whatever reason. So you're going to see me doing more of kind of the digging in at this point. But you can modify, okay? Like I said, your body may not be requiring it. And then also, if you start to feel some pain or so, you know, of course, ease up. Like me, I work on myself pretty regularly so I can take the intensity, so to speak. So, yeah. So yeah, I'm just getting this work in. I have a client call coming up, but this could not wait. So yes, I need to come start working on myself here. Okay, so now I'm going to work on my calves here. Lower leg. But my knees, you probably can't see that, but I am getting down here in my knees. I feel like where I'm going to really go in is actually more so on my feet. Yeah, my body's calling forth for some intensity at this time, so just getting that blood moving here. Okay, now I'm going to kind of shift here. I'm going to work on my left side here. So actually I'm going to start with my calf and then work my way, my lower legs, and then work my way up to the thighs. So I'm doing kind of some twist here. Some presses. Okay, I need to spend a little time right here in this area. Just gonna feel a little something going on here. I can tell you one thing, I'm certainly going to be extremely relaxed later because I feel myself kind of relaxing out now. But it's interesting because it's kind of duality going here. I feel relaxed in some areas, and then I feel energized at the same time. So it's getting the blood going here. It's working on some areas. Okay. Can feel some little triggers and stimulations going down to my feet, so I'm definitely looking forward to spending time there, because I feel that's where I'm gonna mainly go in on my feet. But we'll see, we'll see how the guidance goes here. Hold there and take a deep breath. Okay. All right. So actually, before I start working on my feet, I'm going to get some more water. Anytime you're doing the deeper work, you definitely need as much hydration as possible. Okay, so I'm going to take a few moments to be present here. So I'm feeling guided to actually start with my left side, and let's see, I will use some of this hydration lotion that I've been using lately. Okay, so I feel like I'm going to do a little bit of reflexology. So let me open up my hips here. And for those of you who've been working along with me in other videos, you should be used to this by now. But for those of you who are new, this is the kind of a warm-up, opening up the hips, just getting really all of the body prepared for this higher level of well-beingness. So I'm going to do some foot twists or spinal twist here, just to get a warm-up going. All right. Okay. So let's kind of do a general protocol. So I'm going to worm walk up my spine real quick. Work on that nervous system and just make sure everything is in alignment before I start really going in here. I normally recommend going up the spine at least 3 times. I'm not really actually feeling that right now, so I'm actually going to work on my digestive system. So, and that's blocked off right here, just to work on the stomach, just to work that area in one direction, and then it curves around to the hip line. So I'm just going to follow this guidance here. Just work it from here, go underneath the 4th toe, and then can curve around to here. So you can see that. So again, I'm just following the guidance. Anytime you're working on the digestive system, on the stomach, only work it in one direction. You don't want to back your stomach up. And then just come around here. In this area is where the pancreas is. So I'm actually just going to do some rubbing right in here for the time being. Okay. All right, just got that stimulated. So I'm actually going to come and work in the adrenal section right under here. Then I'll also do some kidney work as well. So. Okay, and come over here and just work on those kidneys. Okay. All right, get a little bit more lotion here. I have to grease myself up here because, like I said, I'm going to start kind of going in. I can already feel it. I can already feel where I need to actually spend some time. And right here is, yeah. So right in this area, from here down is your intestines, and working on your colon and just your tract, all down in here. The bladder is right in here. So for whatever reason, I'm feeling guided to spend some time right in this area, because this is where the great majority of your immune system is, in your intestines. So I was saying your tract, but yeah, your intestines, so, meaning intestinal tract. Okay. So make sure we don't have any colds or anything setting up. Let's work on the immune system here. And I am going to dig in. Do some deep rubbing here. See if I can bring my foot up and maybe you can see that a little bit better. So yeah, so I'm working really on my immune system by doing this. Normally, when I am doing this demonstration, yeah, I mentioned to people that if you're ever constipated or just have anything going on in the tract, work this area. Like me right now, I don't have anything going on at all, not in regards to that, but because I'm being guided to work in this area, then I know that it is about immunity. But also, too, getting out ahead, you know, for sure. Anything else that could potentially want to lodge yourself. So, it's going to work in here. So, I'm going to do some dot to dot. You might not can see this here, but some digging in here. Okay, all right. So now I'm going to come up in this section. It says diaphragm here. And so I'm feeling guided to do a little work right in the diaphragm area. And I'm going to take some deep breaths. So right in this section is the lungs, and right in here is the thymus gland, and then there's the kind of the thyroid right in this area. This is the neck area right here. So I'm going to do some work right in this area, and I am going to dig in. This here too is working the respiratory system. So we work the neck and kind of the thyroid area here. And I guess while I'm at it, I'm going to give my big toe some love so I can just work on the brain and really all of the face here. So I'm going to get just a little bit more lotion. So get some stimulation going here. You might not be able to see this, from this angle. But, okay. All right. So I'm going to now work in the lung area here. And I am going to dig in. Do some dot to dot here. I'm also going to work in my eyes. And so again, as you all are either being present with me here or you're just working on yourself, again, don't feel guided to work on what I'm doing, because I know I'm moving kind of intensely and kind of fast in some areas. So just allow yourself to, freestyle and do what feels right for you. But if you are digging in, I said I'm working pretty deep. Again, just make sure you drink some water afterwards. If you need to get you a few sips during this time, feel free to do that. So as I'm working in this area as well, it's actually working on the sinuses too. For those of you who, aren't really familiar with this process. Also, as I am working in this area, coming down here, that's working the shoulder reflex as well. So, yeah. So I believe what I'm going to do at this point, instead of trying to get into breaking off into a lesson about where everything is, just going to do some general reflexology massage. So now you can follow along, with me without me having to really point out, where everything is. Even though it's going to be kind of difficult for me not to say, this is this. Like the sinus pads are up here, and then working down here in the ridge too, that's. And because I am just inviting you all in, like I normally do, to be present with me during my own personal sessions, of course, I would not be saying to myself, oh, this is this, because I know where everything is. But because you are here with me, then I do want to, provide some context, especially if there are ones who are new, to this work. But then at the same time, I want to be, more present to just follow my guidance and just move accordingly. Okay, so I'm going to do a little acupressure here. I've got a little bit of tenderness going on right here. So this is right here in this valley, this indention is called liver 3 for acupressure. So I'm going to take a deep breath and press in. Okay, let's make some circles here. Actually, now I'm just going to work this ridge here. So I'm just doing some general rubbing and massaging during this time. Okay, I think I'm good over here for this one. Alright, so now I'm going to come to this foot here. Let's see if I want to use some ginger essential oil here. Oops. The thing is dripping on my foot here. Alright. Okay. I always recommend to do this for about 30 seconds. Okay, so over here I'm going to start with doing a spinal walk as well. And I am digging in. I'm putting pressure as I'm going up here. It's interesting, I can feel it in my head. Just working on the spine here. Ooh, and all of a sudden I got really relaxed. Yeah. Sometimes the intensity, like I said, it definitely can do that, for sure. It can go deep and then you get relaxed or start really having an energy burst. Yeah, maybe come back a little bit later too and do a little bit more work on myself, since I'm having to, do more of a quick process. Like I said, I do have a client call coming up soon. But this could not wait to at least get the process started. Okay, so just need to work on my nervous system a little more before going in here. So I'm actually going to get a little bit more oil here. Kind of my heater going on over there, drying things out a little bit faster than norm. Okay, so I'm going to start with my heel. That's where the guidance is there. And also under here is with the reproductive organs and everything. I know I said I wasn't going to break off into doing kind of teaching around this, but it is so hard not to. And it doesn't hurt for you to know, you know? Okay. Just going to do, this is just gripping. Alright, so I am going to work on my adrenal. Right in here, if you can see that. I'll come into some kidney hooks there. Ooh. Feel a little something going on there, so I have to come back and work here. Okay, that's eased up. So I'm actually going to start with the front, the top, I should say, of my foot. Oh, which I'm proud to say that there are really no tender spots going on in the valleys, because typically there can be. Oh, I am so happy about this. But I am going to do a little bit of work in there. So right in here I'm not going as deep, but I am doing kind of in a brisk way. And this really is for getting the circulation, you know, just moving more. Just getting in those valleys. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to dig in here. In between, you can see there. Actually working from both sides. Almost like competing piano hands here. Alright. Take a few deep breaths. Okay. So I'm actually going to work the brain on this side here. Just going to work the big toe in a 360. Press in. Okay. So work in the nose area too. So this is the face and the brain. Let's work the neck. Working on the thyroid a little bit. Okay. Oh, there we are. Okay. I don't even have anything going on in this area, but I just felt the need to dig in there, to dig in. And of course, because I said I was doing kind of more intense reflexology massage, in a sense, working on some areas. So come here, I'm going to dig into the lungs here and the thymus. Go in. I'm going to dig in. And I'm so happy that there's no pain or tenderness going on in certain areas that typically there could be. But at the same time, I'm not going to work so hard that I create it. But yeah, I am doing some spreading here. Just getting in there. Yeah, it's interesting. I feel the need to be a little bit aggressive, or just up here. Let's get those toes stimulated here. And like I said, I feel pretty good in the body, you know, but for whatever reason, the call for intensity is that I need to dig in, and I need to stimulate at a deeper level. And this is also going to help, when drinking water, help the water to get to the cell level. Cellular hydration, so important. I know you are probably like, well, she's being rough with herself today. Well, it's just calling for that for whatever reason, you know. And trust me, I could definitely dig in deeper, but I'm just going, you know, just according to the guidance. And also, too, if I have to come back and work on myself a little bit more later, you know, like I said, this here is just providing, oh, this feels so wonderful, just providing great, you know, stimulation. The benefits of the DIY bodywork are tremendous. And I guess because, you know, I've been doing it for so long that I typically get the immediate results and benefits from them because I have that momentum. But even when I was early on in doing this work, which has saved my life, as I, you know, often share, it saved my life a minimum of at least 4 times. I would definitely say at least 10 for sure, but I would typically say just a minimum. Yeah, being able to do, you know, the work on myself. I've healed myself of a variety of things, and so this has been a huge catalyst to that healing. So I'm going to dig in a little bit more here. Dig in there. So instead of really working the sinus pads, I am going to be a little bit aggressive though with my toes and bringing up more of the blood supply. So I'm going to do more pulling and kind of pumping in a sense. Then I'm going to work in between them a little bit more too. So let me piano hand it here, but I am, oh, there we go. I am going to dig to where I can even feel a little something kind of triggering down in there, but I need to get in there. I can feel energetically, I can feel that I need to get in there. So I'm just following the guidance. Like I said, I don't actually have anything really going on, in the sense that would even, you know, cause me to have to go, you know, put this type of pressure. But again, I'm following the guidance. There's a reason why, and not waiting until actually feeling like, oh, I really need to dig in. No, just go ahead and do that now. So there we go. Okay. All right, there we go. All right. I'm gonna work a little bit more here. So I'm going to do some spine massaging, but I am putting, well, just a moderate amount of pressure at this point. I could dig deeper, but I really try not to work the spine area on a deep, not even, you know, doing regular massage even on individuals, you know. Just, you have to be mindful around the spine. All right. So I'm going to do some ankle rubbing here. Right. Then I'll get ready to close down. So I need to move the energy down here. Actually, I'm going to come back to my left foot too. So just, you know, I normally recommend doing this slower, but for whatever reason, again, the intensity is being called forth. Let's actually do some. I know you all are just not accustomed to me going in like this, doing all this. But, oh, there we are. It's interesting because I can just feel the well-beingness just, you know, really flowing through me. And I'm excited because the one thing about this work is it has kind of a time release. I'm doing it now, getting the benefits, but as the day and evening come in, and then days to follow, this will still be continuing. So I'm going to dig in here. Okay. All right. So I'm actually going to just actually spend just a little time working on my arms and doing just a little bit of hand reflexology real quick before I close down. Okay. All right. So in doing hand reflexology, a lot of times I just recommend just doing a general massage all over the hand. So I'm not going to spend time getting too technical here. If you just take some light, gentle strokes, just like that. But I am going to dig in. And even as I'm digging in, believe it or not, I'm really not putting that much pressure. Is what it might look like. Okay, now I am going in. And even with that, it still is gentle intensity, I should say. So I'm just really working all over my hands. It's typically what I show with, with the hand, reflexology. I do have different videos on the hand reflexology and showing the charts and how you can, work certain areas. But normally when I'm just breaking off in freestyle, like I said, I just typically am just covering the whole hand and just working, really all of the pressure points, the major organs. And if you watch other videos of mine, I'm really big on the wrist aspect of massage, but I'm actually not going to do a lot of pressure in this area. So I can actually tell that I'm kind of warming down because I'm not really being called to do intensity on, on my hands, and arms. So let me get a good rep here. Even though I was, going in. But even as I'm going in, as I'm doing this, it doesn't even really feel like I'm putting a lot of pressure. Okay, so I just need to just show a little bit of love. I'm not going to spend too much time here. Okay. All right. So it looks like that's going to be all for now, but before I even go, I'm going to go ahead and get started on some water. And if you have your water with you, please take some sips right now. Of course, when we end this, you can complete it, but I'm feeling guided to do a little drinking now. And I'll continue to drink, of course, after I've officially closed out here. So thank you so much for spending this time with me during my own, personal session here and doing a little bit more, deep work on myself. And I could potentially come back and do, some more work in some different areas. But this is feeling very complete, at the moment. And so I hope that this has been beneficial for you all, those who chose to work along. Please let me know in the comments, if you worked along with me, or if you did kind of your own thing, or whether you just, paid attention and would like to go back and do some work on yourself, at another time. So again, this work is so important. Taking care of yourself is the most important thing. and especially during this time. So make sure that you are getting plenty of rest and that you're getting hydrated. And this work here definitely will help you to be able to sleep better and just improve your overall quality of life. I highly recommend this work. I can't cease to stop talking about it and praising it, because of not just the benefits that I have gotten from it over the years, but also just, those I've worked with and just others as well. So, yeah, I hope this was beneficial. And as always, I love to feature my publication, I Touch Myself, and I like it. And you can secure a copy on Amazon, but there will be information in the description of how to secure a copy. And also you can learn more about the works that I do in this area. So again, I hope this has been extremely beneficial and valuable, for you during this time. Continue to take care of yourself, and I will be back with you again soon.